and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution, another opportunity for us to consider our shared pool of meaning. Started reading a book about 3 days ago called Crucial Conversations. I'm pretty sure it's a book made for people that want to, kind of like, yeah, that's the right word, climb the corporate ladder, as Joe said. Like people that want to, cut their teeth in the business world. However, the premise of it is that there will be moments in our lives where we get to a point where there will be a crucial conversation. And specifically, crucial conversations are ones where the stakes are high. Sorry? The stakes are high, emotions run wild, and the third one I'm kind of missing on. But that's essentially like the gist of it, right? Is that the stakes are high, and maybe the consequences. There will be repercussions, right, after the conversation ends, lasting consequences or whatever. And we can think about it from the perspective of speaking up. A lot of the examples that were given is, or at least where they gained all of their information, all of the studies they did to write the book, is in following people in business, right? They went to businesses, asked every person in the business, which person in this business is the most influential, the most important, the person that can get the most done. And then they would follow that person for extended periods of time. And then they would watch the way that they engage, especially so when it comes to conversation. And these crucial conversations are the ones where a person, a leader is questioned by their subordinates, or a subordinate questions their leader. And then when that crucial conversation arises, things can either go very wrong or can go right? Like there was one line that went, sometimes we'll choose the bad outcome of a conversation because it's more predictable than the potential discomfort that comes with dialogue, right? That actually having a chat about what's the problem is going to be uncomfortable. So we'd rather just have the bad outcome and then get it over with because that's predictable. And one of the things that they shared in the book very early on, that's a very big driver, for cohesive decision making, is what they called a shared pool of meaning. That when a bunch of people come together and they share what they have on their hearts, there is a shared pool of meaning created. And I think about this space as a kind of shared pool of meaning as well, right? I come here today talking about a shared pool of meaning, and then you friends can add your perspective. You can say to me what your experience has been in sharing, into a shared pool of meaning, how you have been potentially shut down previously, how your ideas might have felt unappreciated or unconsidered. And I feel like that's kind of what we've been doing in this space. We've been having, in my personal opinion, sometimes more, sometimes less, crucial conversations in this space. I had to take a crucial conversation course at work, Mojo. Yeah, there you go. They actually talk about the fact that they do have teams that go to businesses and teach them, as you said, crucial conversation skills, right? And they do have metrics. They can show that teaching people these skills do have lasting impact on not only their relationships, but also bottom lines, right? Places become safer, hospitals become safer if there's crucial conversation skills. Relationships grow stronger and more unified. Budgets get to be more controlled. There's more unity in why it is we are doing what we're doing next if a crucial conversation was had, if that shared pool of meaning was created. I'm sure that you probably are getting a lot of hits from what I'm talking about in that case as well, Mojo. What did you learn? Did you take those skills that you learned at work into your home as well? There's one example that they give of a soldier that was going to be deployed to Iraq. And before he had learned his crucial conversation skills, he was fighting, in so many words, with his family, right? Fighting with his dad and creating a lot of dissonance between everyone. He was deployed for something like, I think, 5 years, something ridiculous. And then he came back to his whole family being like in ruin, essentially, right? His relationship with his wife was bad. His relationship with his dad was completely estranged. I can keep adding the perspective they shared, but the matter of fact was that his inability to communicate properly with his father, with his family, made it impossible to, right? And then having that wherewithal, learning to, not choose the fool's choice, as they say, right? Not choose violence or silence, but learn that there is a third option, right? That you don't have to clam up, that you don't have to win. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest destroyer of dialogue, is our want to win. Talks about how growing up we're trained from a very young age to try and win, right? That in your early school years, the kid that gets the most attention is the one that shouts the answer out quickest. My eye is really itching. I think I have a hair in my eyeball. I'm gonna go and check it out. And then I'll continue this crucial conversation in a moment. Woo!
Like this.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I like conversation.
It is a good one. It's such an important lesson to learn. The fact that Mojo has some perspective on it excites me. I hope that he shares. That's what I'm trying to get at as well, Mojo. Like he does, the veteran does end up like rebuilding his relationship with his dad by actually having a proper conversation with him about, the struggles, because that's the biggest thing that they advocate for in the whole book, is to actually have the conversations, right? To not choose the silence or the, destroying the other person kind of options, that they're the third option. And I wonder, Mojo, again, have you used any of these skills that you've learned in your personal life as well? Thank you for the sparkles, solar flare. Yeah, it is a good book. I'm appreciating the structure it is giving me to think through. What did you do? Did you get in trouble? I don't think it's a get in trouble thing. It's more you show up, or they show up to try and like help the business. Businesses that have a culture of communication, right? Openness to hear different ideas of what is and isn't right. Meaning, a dialogue is when two or more people engage in the sharing of meaning, right, from their own perspectives. And I think, again, that is what we do in this space. Yo, what up, MeltMore? Meltanomenoriasaurus. I totally butchered that, Dan, but I think that's the point. Does that pot have eyes? Yeah, that pot does have eyes. It's watching. It's always watching. You better not try and get away with anything. It's ironic because it's actually extremely rare that anybody has the crucial conversations that are needed for everyone to get on the same page. So there's like silent warfare between teams. Yeah. You feel like it didn't work exactly? I'm trying to understand. It's interesting how that can happen as well. You might be given the skills to communicate more clearly and then only use those skills in your immediate team and then, end up like holding back. That's one of the big things that they shared as well, is that good decisions are only made if there is a larger shared pool of meaning, right? That if the shared pool of meaning is kept collapsed by nobody wanting to add their 2 cents, nobody wants to add the information that they know, then it can cause smart people to make stupid decisions, right?
But what if you're a stupid person?
Then being in a shared pool of meaning can also help. Like they don't say that it's wrong for a stupid person to share their ideas. You should allow them to share their ideas as well. Don't necessarily agree with it, but also realize that you don't have to attack that person, right? It doesn't have to be a you versus them thing. It can
But
just.
what if you're that person?
Not if you're the stupid person.
Yes.
And then you can, like, that's one thing that they talk about as well. You can also learn the skills. You don't have to be infinitely smart to learn skills. That's the cool thing about skills, is that it's about practice. It's about understanding the frameworks that are available to you and then starting to apply them. The most recent framework that they give is start with you, not with them, right? Identifying yourself. Start from your heart. What is it that you want? What is it that you really want, right? And if you can establish that and you can show up with the conversation with that premise, then you have to ask, what is it that I want for them, right? The person that you're going to be talking to. And then what is it that I want for the relationship, right? I can maybe win the argument and lose the relationship kind of thing if I am not clear about what it is I want through each of those steps, right? I might want my way, but I also want this person to feel like they had agency in maybe giving me my way. And also I want the relationship to still be healthy after I've gotten what I wanted. If you have to get what you want by forcing it on a person against their will, right, you're going to do harm to the relationship in ways that you might not have intended. That was one of the big lessons as well, how in crucial conversations, in the height of the moment, right, you might lose the original plot of what it was you were actually trying to talk about, what it is you actually wanted. And taking a second, breathing, and reestablishing what the truth about the matter is before you continue down the emotional pathway is the best thing we can do for ourselves and for the other person. If I don't destroy the other person, then how do I know that I'm doing good in life? Yeah, right. Yo, folks, what are we doing today? We're having some crucial conversations, Sam. Hello, Gula and Gliu. That's a cool t-shirt. Thanks. The course is more focused on how to give feedback to poor performers, which is really only part of the value. True. They did talk about that being one of the things, right? Like, how do you have that crucial conversation with someone who's underperforming? They even go into stuff like, how do you have a crucial conversation with one of your colleagues who has bad hygiene? Stuff like that, right? Exactly. Joe just gave me a look. Yeah, we won't say too much.
That happened, actually. I've been meaning to tell you that happened yesterday.
Really? You had a crucial conversation?
No, a crucial conversation was had with a certain person in my office about a certain type of behavior.
Ah, you'll have to talk about that later. Looks like an Indian design. I think it might be. A lot of my clothes are from India. I love your personality, bro. Oh, thank you, Ronnie. That's nice of you to say. Dan says, that's actually how 9/11 happened. Several intelligence agencies were aware of the impending attack and they didn't share info because they wanted their agency to own stopping the attack, and then nobody got to own stopping the attack. Yeah.
The attack happened.
That's horrible. And it's interesting how, again, right, as you said, withholding information can hurt people, right? There was one example in the book where they talk about a doctor who was supposed to do something, I think like ear surgery, like something to the person's ear or something above neck, right? They had to do something above neck. And then the doctor just starts operating on the person's foot, right? And apparently 6 people in the room were questioning, why are you working on this guy's foot? Like, the surgery is above head. And nobody said anything because
like, this guy with the authority probably knows best, so we're gonna
Right.
follow his lead.
Exactly. Bunch of smart people making stupid decisions because the information isn't out in the open.
It's one of those things. I mean, everybody, there was a science experiment, or this experiment where like they had all of these actors in a waiting room, and well, actors, they had a job, and like every time the bell dinged, all of them would stand up, and then one at a time they would put somebody in the room that wasn't part of that group, and
They
they
would,
all started to stand up until there was nobody in the room that knew why they were standing up. Just
right,
everybody was standing up every time the bell dinged.
exactly.
They were just kind of like the first person walked in and they like, stood up. Or
Yeah.
like whenever the
Like
new
the
person
whole,
would
yeah,
enter the
exactly. A
room.
new person comes in, but the whole group is in on it, and then the whole group stands up, and this person's like, "Oh, I'm the out one. I guess I'll stand up as well." And then they keep replacing this group until none of the original group remains, and it's just new people, as you said.
Right. Yeah, people look to the group behavior as to how to act.
Mm,
Right. And so when nobody's saying anything, that's called the bystander effect.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
actually really studied. Like
Right.
when everybody, like, is that the
Yep,
bystander
yep, yep.
effect?
Bystander effect is when someone gets hurt, and everybody is like, "Oh, someone is going to help them," and then
Yeah.
just nobody helps them,
Just assuming somebody else
or
is
like
going to.
somebody call 911. It's like you should point at a person, be like,
Mm-hmm.
you call 911.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a cool book, and it's a cool thing to remind ourselves of. Have a good day, John. Crucial conversation. Someone says, I look like Nick Jonas. Thanks.
You don't.
I look exactly like Nick Jonas.
Afrikaans Nick Jonas.
Afrikaans Nick Jonas. I'm actually going to doppelganger, take Nick Jonas's life over.
Sing a Jonas Brothers song.
Start Jonas Brothers singing. I'm gonna convince his brothers that I'm actually him as well, and they'll be very
You're
convinced.
the oldest Jonas brother.
Take it back.
Wait, no, but you might not be. I forget that they don't stay like 16. They've aged since they were
She's
famous.
she's saying I look even older. It's true. I think he still is. I think Nick is the oldest one of them all.
I have no idea.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah. Love you, Zhao. See you soon. And then nobody got to end the attack. They were all told not to. Lockheed Martin and Dick Cheney wanted to play with their new toys then. Major yikes. Elizabeth, hello to you. Thank you for joining us. Imagine Jesus is the worst. No. I don't want to do that. Hey, your accent is so nice. Thank you, Samuel. That hair is cool. Thanks. It grows out of my head. Conditioned behavior, right, Elizabeth? It's true, the group behavior thing. I once convinced my whole campsite to eat ants. I cooked on a skillet at a music festival. I never ate one, but I got literally everyone to eat them. Nobody wanted to be the guy that didn't try an ant. Yeah, I've eaten ants. I've eaten enough ants to form an opinion. There are some ants that are nice to eat and some ants that aren't. Don't ask me how I know. I was a very strange child, like really strange. Did you always know you were happy, or did you recently discover it? It's one of those things that you have to actively work on, I think, Dragonborn. Right? Like I used to play a lot of Skyrim when I was a 14-year-old, and it gave me a certain type of escape, an escape that I appreciated. And at this point in my life, I still find myself having to bring myself back to reality. For example, right, one of the things that I definitely think I'm guilty of escaping into is like media, right? Literally short videos, right? Short videos have consumed more of my time than I would like to admit, right? And I don't think it makes me happy, right? And it's only once you find yourself outside of that experience where you can identify what is and what isn't making you happy. I've been waking up a little bit earlier to read, and it's making me happier than I would have been if I just kind of like slept or started scrolling news feeds first thing in the morning kind of thing. And so I do think it's something you have to work on. Uh-oh, the chat is fighting. I don't think so, Jester Hero. I think the chat is definitely very mindful of me in this space. People do try to defend my honor sometimes, Chester, which I find very endearing. I believe that people wouldn't take as much offense to the insults. And again, I think it's not even offense to the insults because of their love for me. It is also like an intellectual thing, a little bit, where some of the insults are just like vapid, uncreative, very much so unintelligent, you know? Like this Dragonborn individual. There's like very little intelligence behind any of the words they say. And I think that kind of like triggers some people because like you can say anything, right? You can talk about anything in this world. And then choosing to like say the most like brain dead kind of take. I guess that's what trolls do, but at least be an intelligent troll, right? Be a respectable troll, you know? Have people actually laugh, not just be like, oh, this person is just a bigot kind of thing, all right? No, I don't mean you, Meltmore. The chat seems to be in disagreement with each other. That happens sometimes, Chester. That happens. I don't think we've really gotten to a point where we've talked enough to disagree on anything just yet. Today's central theme that we've been talking about, Chester, is the shared pool of meaning, right? And every single person that engages and adds to this space is adding to the shared pool of meaning. And I think that's why we can get a little bit antsy, since we talked about ants earlier, when people are just coming into the space to spew the equivalent of face diarrhea, right, into the space. Because there's no intent to share meaning. There's just the intent to destabilize, to drive some sort of narrative, homophobia, more often than not, right? People are so scared when they look at me that I'm going to turn them gay. I've had very straight friends of mine tell me, I'm not gay, Melt, but if I was, you would be my type. And then I look at them, I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. I'm thinking about some of my friends specifically right now. Javal and Liam. Those are two of the friends that have like really laid it on thick. I get so embarrassed in moments like that, but I understand. I understand that people are very scared of their own sexuality, right? Not everybody is as established in it as, you know, the next person. And having a question arise in the person's mind, they usually jump to the nuclear option where they're like, oh no, I'm not gay, you're gay. You're gay, yeah. Yeah, now I feel a little better about myself. I made sure to make them, it's their fault. It's their fault I'm having gay thoughts. It's not me that's gay. No, I couldn't be gay. It's him, a random stranger on the internet talking about shared meaning. That's what's gay. And to me at this point, it's just funny. Why would people be scared of sexuality? They're scared of admitting that they are one way or another, zealot, right? That if you have, for example, grown up in a culture that demonizes gay people, right? That, you know, makes fun of them, even potentially bullies them, you know, makes them to be social outcasts. And then you feel yourself feeling gay feelings, right? All of that baggage, all of that conditioning that came from your society will suddenly hit you like a wall, hit you like a truck. And you'll be scared, right, to feel that way, because if you are, then maybe you'll also be the victim of all of the same stuff that you potentially have even done. Oh, like Arabic society, for example, yeah, sure. But even just like societies that are okay with gay people, there is still an underlying almost like uncertainty, right? Because again, people don't like change, and people especially don't like imagining that there are more ways to live than their own, right? Like everybody wants to believe that their way of doing something is the right way of doing something. And then they see someone loving someone else that they couldn't imagine themselves loving, and they take great issue with that, right? like this Dragonborn person, like they have not added a drop of value to the space. And now, as simple as that, they will never be allowed back here. At the very least, not with that username, right? And that is literally how easy it is. The Mace of Molag Bal has entered the chat. Yeah, you got maced. Yeah, absolutely decimated, right? And you can try, right? Eventually, our accounts, Dragonborn XP, and maybe this is something for you to like learn from. Eventually, our accounts will be literally linked to our DNA, right? Eventually. Not right now, fortunately, but eventually, right? So the things that you choose to share, the things that you put out into the internet, is going to become a reflection of you, right? It's going to be like your face, right? Everything that you said on the internet is going to form more and more of an image of the kind of person that you are. And certain people, right, will be allowed to continue to evolve alongside one another, and certain people will make others feel unwelcomed, unappreciated, unseen, and they will be excluded from the crucial conversation because they don't want to have it. All right, they have no intent on having a proper conversation. All right, their only objective is to cause dissonance, and more often than not, it's because there's a lot wrong inside their hearts, right? They are unsatisfied with their own lives. They are insecure about their appearances. They are unsure about where the future is going and what their place in it is, right? So they find some inkling of meaning in disrupting other spaces because they know, or at the very least, they don't know how to do it themselves, right? You're rambling, oh, and you're saying nothing in doing that, Zealot, aren't you? Stop this philosophy. Now I'm a moron. You see, like I would take you both more seriously if there was any value in what you're saying. But there's not, right? You're adding to this collective meaning that I should stop philosophy, right? That doesn't mean anything. Saying someone is rambling doesn't mean anything, right? If you can say, I don't understand this point, right? I disagree with this point of your argument, then we can have a dialogue again, Zealot. Yeah, see ya. Cheers. Cheers. I'm gonna keep doing this, right? I'm gonna keep rambling, as you say. We can all agree that this summer is damn hot. It definitely has been. Yet, it's kind of comfortable today, or at least not as hot as it usually is. Some folks' love language is bitch fighting, and as long as it's in good natured, we'll allow it. True, like the guy talking about protein, rips on the meatball. That shit was funny. Same joke as Dragon, just way funnier. Exactly, right? Like you can, like, and we allow that even. We allow trolls to be in this space if they are showing up with a creativity, with a uniqueness, right? With personality, not just copy pastaing the same tripe, stuff that they've been posting on other people's channels, right? And especially the homophobia one. Like, it's so outdated, right? Like, it's like, what are we? Are we living in the fucking, 50s again? It's like, can we get past it, right? And I believe more often than not, it is probably just like children. And if it's not children, that's even more embarrassing for the people that keep pushing that kind of narrative. Your support, yeah, that's about it. Yeah. The Maze of Molag Bal. I was working on a bit. I'm sorry, Sam. And that's not being scared of sexuality. That's fear of others' opinions. Sure, Zealot. That's also true. It is fear of other people's opinions. But again, I think that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that fear of other people's opinions does sometimes drive people to try and take a stance, right? They want to be one of the people that are of the opinion. They don't want to be one of the people that other peoples have opinions about. Good morning, Betty Priestess is here with us too. And cover your pool so junk can't get into it. Morning, everyone. Darren giving us advice. What happened, bro? I hope your pool is okay. The repressed and depressed among us will always feel enraged by those who don't prison themselves the same way. It's true what you say, dear Sam. It's very true what you say. Yeah, it is hard, I think, for many people to, feel confident enough to do something like this, for example, right? And it's very easy to, from a cell phone screen, just like spew a bunch of nonsense, right? I would challenge, and that's the big thing for me. I would challenge any person who would troll me to do what I'm doing, right? That's kind of the way that I see it. And because I know very few of them would ever take me up on that challenge, I do not take them seriously. I'm like, okay, if that's what you believe, done, you stop. Hello, Twinkle Toes. Hello, Douglas. I've never been called Twinkle Toes. Suddenly checks the camera feed, making sure my toes is not in frame. TK? No way. No way. Is it that TK? TK from the RPAN days? TK. I hope so. I hope it's that TK. If it is, GBs. It's been 4 years, I think. How's your kids doing, bro? It's nice having you here. Also, like, it's your stream, Melt. You've earned the right to ramble. Show up every single day and give an hour or two of your time, and you can earn the right to ramble. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dan. I agree. I agree. And again, I could sit here in silence. Wouldn't be a very interesting stream, right? Ramble is one of those things, like yapping is another word people use as well. It's like interesting to me how the internet today, or at least I think it's just maybe like meme culture, is trying to stop dialogue more often than not, right? People are, maybe the powers that be are terrified of people actually talking, right? Forbid that people start planning. Oh my goodness. Extra forbid that people start taking action. If trolling is your craft and not simply your hobby, you'll be good enough to make the cut here. Yeah, true. Examines Douglas Quaid, bro, are you Toph? Toph? Toph from Avatar? You had a stream yesterday, right? Dancing to some music. That's right. That's right. Wednesdays I dance. Wednesdays I dance. Once a week I'll dance with the intent of like celebrating life. Like it very much is a gratitude stream in so many words. At least that's why it was established that on Wednesdays that I'll dance. I have a Patreon and I'm supported by you friends. And on Wednesdays I dance in gratitude, right? Like I have so much gratitude in my heart that the only thing that I can do to show it is dance. I can say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, thank you very much, thank you. But that's a little bit less interesting than me jumping around, having the time of my life. So yeah, I did dance yesterday, Douglas. And usually I do streams where I sit down and I have a conversation with the community. Today we're talking about shared meaning. The pool of shared meaning. That when we come together as people and we all talk about what we believe, what we feel, the information that we have been presented with, there is a pool of shared meaning that arises between all of us. And in that shared pool of meaning, our decision making grows more intelligent, right? For example, if we talk about sleep, right? And every single person shares their perspective on sleep. Some person shares how spending time on their phone just before they go to bed gives them nightmares. And the next person says that, oh yeah, I ate a big meal and then I, was feeling uncomfortable, couldn't find myself comfortable in my body. And the next person shares, yeah, when I watch scary movies before I go to sleep, it takes me an hour or two before I actually fall asleep, right? And the more and more meaning that's added from each of these different perspectives, the more of a field of information arises that you can then extract the right decision from. It doesn't necessarily mean that we make the right decision every single time, but it makes it easier to do so. And again, that's what I think we're doing in this space every day. Not always with intention, but it's always possible. And maybe some of these streams are more crucial in conversational value than others, but that doesn't make me stop showing up. Unrelated, but the Halo remake is dope. It's already out. I'm so on pop culture these days. Big time nostalgia. I can't wait for the Halo 2 and 3 remakes. Nice. Is it made in Unreal Engine? Probably. I was so tired last night and not feeling great. My 3-year-old said, "Dance with me, Mom." And I didn't want to, but I did. And I got into it once I started. I thought of you when that happened. Batty Priestess, that makes me feel really good stuff. Yeah, my heart feels warm. It's interesting how that happens, right? That you might feel bad, as you said. You might feel resistant to doing the thing that you know will make you feel better, right? For example, just something as simple as a shower, right? I remember as a child always having a resistance, right, to going in, bathing or showering. But as soon as you're in the water, you appreciate it, right? And there is an analogy in what you're going through as well in that way, Batty Priestess, that there's something in us that resists that which is good for us. And if we can overpower, or I think overpower is the wrong word, sounds a little bit too aggressive. If we can transcend, move past that limitation, we'll find ourselves better on the other side for it. I'm proud of you, Batty Priestess. I'm sure your little 3-year-old will, remember these moments fondly. Keep creating them. When you realize you don't need to sleep anymore, boom, your whole world opens up. You do need to sleep. Don't listen to him. You do need to sleep. I wish we didn't have to, right? I'm sure that as soon as I don't think there is a way. I was gonna say that as soon as there is some sort of compound, that will do what sleep does, without you needing it, it'll probably be a multi-billion-dollar product. But I don't think that's a real thing. I don't think it can work. Please, for all that's good and for what you need, get some sleep sometimes. At least 7-ish hours a night. Teach us some useful knowledge. What useful knowledge can I imbibe on you, dear friend? What have I learned from my life over and over again? This is useful knowledge that has come from the Stoic times. A teacher called Epictetus. It's either Epictetus or Seneca, and it's probably Seneca. I think it's actually Seneca. Has a quote that goes, "There are more things to be alarmed by than there are things to be harmed by. And as such, we suffer more in mind than we do in actuality." Right? Very useful knowledge to kind of like hold at the forefront of your mind when you find yourself tripping out, suffering, what's going to happen next. Because again, you're more likely to stress out about stuff than there is going to be bad stuff happening to you, right? The balance is off with that. And it's been very helpful in my personal life to remind myself of that over and over again. I've had pretty rough experiences in my life, and none of them have been able to defeat me, right? None of them have been able to get the better of my person. I think it's best to read a book 1 hour before sleep and turn off your phone, and then keep it even in another room. That's great advice, Douglas. I haven't been reading for an hour before bed, but I think I should. I think I'll even take you up on that advice, right? You adding to this shared pool of meaning adds perspective to my mind that I can agree on, right? Be like, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yes, queen. Tack, the Lewis, thank you. It is Melt. The physics engine is the one from Halo Reach, and the graphics are running in Unreal Engine 5. Nice. Yeah, Unreal Engine is nice, dude. It's very good. Unreal Engine is the one that uses the triangles, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Extremely high fidelity, right? Because of the way they, what's the word? Face. Yeah, the faces. The faces are dynamic. So the closer you get to them, they can get smaller. If you know, you know. Unreal Engine is cool. Put a coin in the box and prepare yourself to receive, gentlemen. It's also a part of what makes us stronger. Kiwi Derek, it's nice having you here again, friend. It's nice seeing your name here with us. You up again late? Kiwi Derek. It hurts my heart that you have to be up late to be in this space, but I want you to get sleep as well. No, sleep is totally optional. I haven't slept in 16 days and I've never felt better. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm convinced. I'm completely convinced. I love sleeping. It's my favorite human thing aside from laughing. I love dreaming. I had some dreams last night. I'm pretty sure I was breaking and entering in my dream because I was in someone's property, and then I looked through their window and I saw they had two blue and gold macaws. We have one as well, and I was like, damn, where are these people? Who's taking care of their birds? I was wondering. Betty, if you stay awake long enough, you can dream IRL. No sleep required. Melody, hello. I think that's called hallucinating. Do not listen to Darkside Dan. He is applying his red and black face paint as we speak. I love you guys. We love you, Joe. I love your confidence. Thank you, the fake boy. It's something that I have been trying to get better at. I was literally one of those kids when I was a 14-year-old that would search on Google how to be cool, how to be confident, right? And I learned, I'll tell you, I freaking sat with the information. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I feel like I'm no longer searching for the answer as much as I was when I was young. I'm more content in my own being because I know I am who I am. And I know that who I am is not a bad person. I think that makes it easy on me as well. A tip that I have always felt has been key to an interaction all around the world is to never trust a naked bus driver. You're welcome. Yeah, if I am getting ready to step onto a bus and my bus driver is naked, I'd probably wait for the next one and be like, yay. I don't know about all of that, Mr. Bus Driver. I mean, isn't it all reality? Just one big hallucination. Might as well choose one. That's a little bit more exciting, right? Introduce a little anarchy. Yes. Yes, the trees are melting. Why are the trees melting? The trees don't melt. It's like, yeah, we are in the hallucination. Possibility of real life being a simulation is trending. Yeah, if you believe in simulation theory, it's more likely than it's not, right? Chances are that we are in a simulation because this being based reality is very unlikely. I like the new kind of like ideas that have been floating, like the theory of the observer being the real thing, that consciousness is too hard to define, but the observer might be a little bit easier to do so, right? And I mean, Einstein called for us having some sort of clear definition for what the observer is, because he also noted that when the observer is introduced into an experiment, it changes the outcomes, right? So that to me means that we might be more than just a simulation, but it's also hard to define, right? The way that I like to see it is that we are almost like experiencing a kind of technology. We are not NPCs, yeah. We are experiencing a kind of technology as this thing that we are, right? And that technology has limitations, right? Your eyes, for example, the tech that they are, can only absorb a very small sliver of the electromagnetic, field as it represents light, right? There's a lot more going on here, and potentially even more than we understand just with that electromagnetic field, right? Or the waves, right? How light kind of like enters us. There might be even more dimensions of energy that's actively going on here that we just do not have access to. And if we could upgrade our technology, our experience, our consciousness will probably change for it. What we observe will probably change for it. The hallucinations will change for it. There is not enough darkness in this world to put out the light of a single candle. Oh, thank you. Kiwi, that's beautiful, bro. Kiwi, that is fundamentally not how light works. You cannot snuff out light of darkness. It's entirely the opposite. Yeah, I think that is what he was saying. I think Dan just realized. I think that is what he was saying. Is that light is the thing that I want to say almost that you are. You are that light, right? Echoing into darkness. You are the thing that makes the difference. You are the thing that adds meaning to all of reality, right? Nothing means anything if not for your consciousness making it so. I am an NPC. Kijat has wares. If you have coin. I can see it now, Sam. I can see it now. You chilling somewhere in the Skyrim universe with your little tent and your skin blankets. It's a quote. It's a quote from Gandhi. The candle one. It's pretty cool. Wait, I'm dumb. I misread your comment, Kiwi. It's okay. You course corrected then, and that's what's most important, right? It's not that we are unable to make mistakes, but that we are willing to admit them and course correct. Continuing to add to the shared pool of meaning. I feel like that's been the biggest concept that I've been taking away from that book that I've been reading, that's been feeling really important, right? Because I've been trying to articulate in so many ways what it is we're doing in this space. And I think that really is it. We are creating a shared pool of meaning. And in doing so, we give all the individuals that participate in it and that try and hold all of this meaning in their minds more tools to make better decisions. And as we keep making these better decisions, little by little, we will make the world a better place. Good energy, buddy. Thank you, friend. Love is true. Blessings upon you. I've heard Skyrim is not a good game. Suddenly the whole chat is like, I'm gonna take a beating to this guy now, and they say, and skin blankets sounds more judgmental. Do the Argonians next. I have no judgment. I played Khajiit. I picked Khajiit for like 3 of my 4 Skyrim playthroughs. All right, I like being one of the Khadams. I think I like them because you get like more melee attack. Who punched you in the face? Freaking, how do you say? Shama hormones, probably. I'm not on any hormones, but apparently hormones are one of the things that influence pimple production. And I just had this whole cluster where I had like 3 pimples suddenly on my cheek at the same time, dude. Jeebies. I can go through like whole spirals of insecurity with the pimples as well, but at this point, I don't know what to do about it. All right, I'll probably eventually start freaking injecting myself with peptides. Maybe like the GHK copper one. Apparently that one helps for skin, but I also don't know that it's going to just fix my problem. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently you're supposed to stop getting pimples when you become an adult. Maybe I'm not there yet. I'm slowly but surely making my way to it. There's more in this world than we can know and see. A lot of animals can sense this where normal humans cannot. It's interesting, right? Me and Joe, while we were going to sleep last night, we were talking about sleep paralysis demons, right? And how it is probably just an hallucination of your mind, but what if it's not, right? Thinking about animals suddenly just staring into the corner like they see something, right? Being all saucy bobassy about it. I'll randomly break out, work out daily, and clean the face. I do that. I do work out daily, and I have like a whole face care routine. It's gotten better, I think. I also, yeah, I do that as well. We have silk pillow casings, and I do wash them weekly. Unscented skincare, I have unscented skincare as well. Mine is unscented. My sister told me to use Head and Shoulder shampoo on her breakouts. So that one I haven't tried. All of the other stuff I've done, right? Make sure and again, I sleep on my left side, right? So if my pillow was the problem, I would be messed up on this side of my face. I rarely sleep on that side of my face, so I don't think it's my pillow that's the culprit either. Yeah, c'est la vie. Look at that. You have been deemed unwilling to add any value to this space, and so you have been removed from it. Your ability to add nothing has been taken away. Look at that. When Jack Black does a whip it with Eric Andre on the Eric Andre. Did that happen? Did that actually happen? Favorite Jack Black moment? Did that happen? I think my favorite Jack Black moment is when he beat the devil in a rock contest. That's probably my favorite Jack Black moment. You're like me, consistently, and I'm done with it. Oh, look, hear that? That's the sound of, what's his username? Villakazi, no longer making sounds. Ah, that's nice. I sleep on both sides, but I need to try Head and Shoulder shampoo. You're gonna try that too? Maybe it works. I'm sure that there's probably some sort of face soap. I don't know about, I guess Head and Shoulders has like anti-dandruff stuff. So maybe like there's something in the anti-dandruff formula that helps your skin not break out as well. A pro life tip on the pillow casing thing: get bamboo sheets, y'all. Bamboo sheets are the softest, most breathable sheets, and people always comment on how nice they are. I don't think we have bamboo sheets. I think ours are cotton. I don't feel like my sheets are lacking, personally, right? I still like spaz out like a cat, you know, that like whole, like when you get in bed for the first time. Like I usually only get in bed at the end of the day. And every single time I get in bed, it's like the best thing ever. I'm like, oh, it's so comfortable. So comfort. Yeah. I also like sleeping, actually. Getting a good night of rest will do wonders for your mental health as well. Recently, after school, made a video of 10 years of wisdom in 10 minutes. And the very first piece of wisdom that he shares is sleep. Sleep enough. If you get proper sleep, everything else in your life will become easier for it, right? And it's like, if you know, after school, his videos are usually like a little bit more spiritual in nature, right? Like thinking about all of these spiritual topics. He'll do Ram Dass a lot. And the fact that in him trying to make a video from his perspective of all of the wisdom that he had gained over his life, over the last 10 years, the number one most important piece of information he chose to share is sleep enough. There's another one that kind of like impressed upon me is the whole don't use people as a means to an end, right? That the person's happiness should be the end that you're trying to seek, right? The example that he makes is that if I go and get my wife something to eat so that she'll sleep with me, then I'm trying to use her as a means to an end, the end being sexual satisfaction, right? But if I get my wife something to eat because I want to see her happy and fed, then her happiness and her satisfaction in being fed is the end that I'm trying to seek, all right? And it's as simple as that. Like, ask yourself, am I using this person as a means to an end? little bit more wisdom to take with us. I don't know how I got there with the whole bamboo sheets, but yeah. Yeah. There's so much wisdom to absorb. I feel like we already have all of the tools that we need to make the world a better place. The future is here. It's just not equally distributed. In the Maori culture of New Zealand, there is a concept called the knowledge basket. If we all add our understanding into this basket, then the synergistic effect helps us all. I think I agree with that, Kiwi Derek. I've like seen it in my own personal life in this space, especially. Tenacious D in the thick of destiny. Yeah. Oh, that 100% happened, Mel. The Eric Andre Jack Black interview is amazing. He hooks up to a lie detector and then shocks him whenever he lies or is truthful. That does sound really funny, actually. The more you know, Colette. Colette is also adding some advice. How about that? Do trust me, your sheets can be nice, but you will try the bamboo sheets and be like, oh shit, I've been missing these all along. Yeah, what do bamboo sheets cost? I'm gonna print Christian's book. That's like what I want to spend some of the rest of my money on. I do not make a lot of money, but maybe I could. Maybe I could afford bamboo sheets. Bam. Bamboo sheets. Ooh, maybe hit this sponsored link. I'm sure it's gonna not be priced 7x higher. I'm in the United States. Let's see how long it takes me to get a price on these businesses. That's how you know it's gonna be more expensive than it needs to be. Fuck! $190? No. Bruh, these sheets can freaking, rock me to sleep like a little baby. I'm not spending $190. That ain't right. They do look nice. This website makes them look really nice. So look at that. It's like, oh yeah, look at how luxury. Look at how, so luxury. So the luxuriest. Oh, look at how softy it looks. Oh wow. $190. Hell nah. You miss me with that shit. Let's see. Amazon's first recommendation. Probably gonna be freaking $19. It's not bamboo at all. $90. Still, I don't think I can spend $90 on sheets right now. Unfortunately. That's a little bit unreasonable. I don't think I have enough either. All right. Not if I do the book thing as well. Christian sent me his full book and technically like a 3D render of the way he wants his cover page to look. But I'm gonna probably have to do it myself, all right, to get it flattened out. And then I'm gonna print that. And then after I finish my other books, I'm going to read his properly. And then maybe after I finish reading his book, I'll read it to you, friends. I've been telling Christian that I'll be willing to do that. Tuned in and enjoying. Kevin, same case as yesterday. It's nice having you here. Brother, I love sleeping, but I have horrible insomnia. I'm so sorry to hear that. Enlightenment. That is not fun. I used to have insomnia as well as a young man, and it was hard. I was also not doing myself any favors. I was drinking coffee up until late at night. I was spending all of my time before I tried to go to sleep on my cell phone. I was ruminating. I was ruminating a lot. One of the things that has helped me, and this is when I was like trying to research how I could try and combat the experience, is stillness, right? That even if you're insomniac, an insomniac, there we go. Even if you're an insomniac, when you go to bed, just be still, right? Lay as still as you can. right? Because the tossing and turning, that's one of the things that's also disruptive, right? You can still get rest even if you're not fully asleep. Just keeping yourself in that stillness will also do good for your body. Also, on the insomnia train, I started drinking Egyptian Blue Lotus tea. And holy cow, what a game changer. There we go. That's another solution potentially. I'll look that up for insomnia. I hope that this shared pool of meaning adds and potentially helps. It's not FDA regulated, so I doubt you'll find much. I noticed how the priests used to use it and thought, I might as well try and see it. Total experimentation. Bet, bet that sounds good. Bamboo sheets are like $90. They're not cheap, but they're nice, bro. Get them for Joe for Christmas or something. That I could do. It can be a goal. Bamboo sheets. Getting some bamboo sheets. Yeah, I do like nice stuff. I also like nice stuff. You won't believe, but I could have a nice stuff every now and then. Especially stuff like that. Stuff that you sleep on, right? Like your bed and your pillow. It's going to add to your quality of life. So it's not unreasonable to spend a little bit of money getting yourself what you want. My wife and I, Kiwi says, have reached the difficult decision that we do not want children. If anybody does, please send me your contact details. We can drop them off tomorrow. That's hilarious, Kiwi Derek. I'm gonna have to put my hat not in the center. I see today is. Today always is. Hoopty hoops. Just do what the British people do and send them to Hogwarts, Kiwi. We got Shangalalabra joining us. They grow the bamboo in proximity to pandas or something. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. All right. Like at one point or another, a koala bear or a panda was touching this bamboo. Pinky promise, you know. That's why it's 190 dara if you want the luxury. Luxury. 190 dara for a sheet. Like it makes me want to fight someone. It makes me want to fisticuffs. It's like, yay! Why is my fists up suddenly? Who's trying to attack? They have a 50% chance of never coming home. Roll those odds, man. My weighted blanket came with a bamboo cover over it. It's nice, man. Hoopy selling me. I've never had a weighted blanket, but I've also thought that might be nice. Weighted bamboo blanket. Oh my goodness. Hoopy is rolling in the dough. That Kiwi Derek. That's a good joke. Rolling in the dough as in the heavy blanket is like the money you spend, and then it's like dough, and then you're rolling in it. I wasn't trying to be facetious. Good morning, Hoops, and the aforementioned. Inky moved out. What does that mean? You doing okay? He told me he was, and he did last week. It's been just me keeping it, and I miss the boy. Please join me in hoping he is well. I've been torn apart. I'm so sorry to hear that, Hoops. Like, he ran away? Thank you for sharing that hard thing with us. We're here with you, dear dude. I'm sorry, Hoops. My friend, goodness, I feel for you. Hugs to you. I know you and Inky were two peas in a pod. You have a lot of love. How was y'all's full moon yesterday? A day of grace? I think so. I think so. It was full moon yesterday. I danced. I really did enjoy dancing with you, friends. And it did feel to me, at least, that the day did conclude with a lot of grace, right? Some mindfulness about the way that we want things to be. It's very easy to, in pride, create an experience that you might not have wanted, but then you keep holding it because you don't want to lose face. I see a spider on the window, but I don't know if he's inside or out. I think he's outside. Yeah, he's outside. He's missing a leg. He still looks fine though. Little Spooter. Jovantism. That's kind words. You're loved, dear friend. Ironically, my girlfriend's name is Grace, and we made up yesterday after some issues. The synchronicity of the human experience is stark to me sometimes. Christ enlightenment. Right? Because I'm sure we're not the only ones. Right? I'm sure that there was probably peace made between many people all across the planet. I have this belief. I have this underlying theory that all of us are going through the same things at the same time. Just the nature of our experience is shaped by our lives and our current circumstances, right? But the underlying lesson comes to all of us at the same time, you know. And then all of us process, and then we come into the next day, and then we have conversations with colleagues and friends and family and loved ones and this space. And then we get to see how those decisions were made by other people potentially as well. Again, adding to the shared pool of meaning. And then we get to do it all over again and again and again. Hey, Nancy is here with you. I feel like I had too much to dream last night. I also had gangbusters of dreams, Nancy. It's interesting that you also went through something like that. I was breaking and entering. I don't know why. I don't think I was even looking to like do anything. Maybe I was hiding. I think I might have been hiding from someone. I've had reoccurring dreams of me running from the police, right, and hiding in the bushes and stuff. I don't know if you friends have ever gone through stuff like that. And in one of these dreams, I heard a parrot squawk, and then I looked through the window, and then I saw the people's whose yard I was in have two blue and gold macaws. And I was instantly worried for their well-being because I was wondering who was taking care of them because I was in their yard and I wasn't being told to leave. So I was like, there's nobody here. Who's taking care of their parrots? That moment when the people breaking into your property want to take care of your pets. Man, people like to take things like I'm taking this opportunity to listen. It would be too hard to describe, and I am just now remembering images. You don't have to describe your dreams, Nancy. Know that you are welcomed back into the waking world. It can be a little bit tiresome when you do a lot of dreaming. That's the other thing. So I hope you take it easy today. I hope you drink enough water. If you have any, take some creatine. Be gentle with yourself. I should probably do that as well for myself. All across the planet is the same life. We are pieces of it. All of us. Is Hoopy in agreement with me? Yay. That's rare. That's nice having you. Thank you for being one of me, Hoopty Hoops. We're all eyes on the same head, or so I've heard it be said. That's masi. Oh yeah, running from the police was great. Just a piece to the puzzle. Yes, dancing with y'all yesterday was so fun. I slept in the moonlight and had so many dreams last night too. So curious. Interestingly enough, me and a friend were escaping, and I think some kind of dystopian government agents. Nancy. Yeah. Why? Why do we all have such? And again, I feel all of us are probably having even more synchronous experiences, but the way we articulate in our minds, or our ability to remember, or how much we fixate on one point or another, means that we lose bits of the information. And some people focus on certain parts of the information more than others, and then in our attempt to share meaning with one another, it feels like there's difference. But actually, we're all going through the same thing. All right. It feels a little bit unifying at the very least, right? I love the vibes here. Lady Mike TV. This space is for you. Thank you for joining us. I do one of these streams every day. If you appreciate it, like the video. If you really want to be here again, subscribe. I'll show up for you if you show up for me. My friends and I ran all the way across a golf course. We split up and half of the crew got the minivan and the other half met them on the outside of the golf course. It was 007 level escape. You too, Dan? That is so interesting. The fact that we all remember our escapee dreams as well is so curious. Indianapolis Colts, is that a team? I'm not sure. One of the great sayings from the Upanishads, Tattvam Asi, is that thou art. You are that. You people are very interesting and fun. We are reflections of you, Christ enlightenment. There is no separation after all, right? What you see, the fun and interest you see in us was in you first, right? We just happen to reflect back to you that which you like to see. Suburb cops are notoriously dumb, and it was incredibly satisfying to outwit them as 17-year-olds. Oh no, Dan was actually running from the cops. Dan was not talking about a dream. I mean, Dan was talking about a dream. Something, statutes of limitations. Hello to you, Oliver. Thank you for joining us. It's nice having you here too. Hoop, I've heard that before. I didn't know that was from the Upanishads. You are that. You are that. Can't you see it's all perfect? One of those statements that bring up so much potential trigger. Allegedly. No, Mel, this was a dream. He didn't say not before it was a dream. This was a dream story about running from the police. Yes. Not real, of course. Just a dream. Like I'm laying it on thick. Allegedly. They shunk a little bit on nose. Allegedly, he was running from the cops in this real story. That was a dream, of course. Also, to the best of my recollection, the Upanishads. And it's one of the 4 Mahavakyas, a great saying, kind of like Hindu version of the commandments. Police escape dreams, interesting, because I watch a lot of crime TV. I don't watch much crime TV personally, but I have been a little bit of a rebel growing up, right? Like I always felt like I could be susceptible to getting police chased, right? Like I feel like I live counterculturally to the point where somebody is gonna try and stop me. I'm gonna prune this plant. There we go. This little PC is dead. You got this, bro. You got this. Are you dry? You're getting a bit dry as well. Let me give you some water. Sweet. I'm investigating if there's more that I need to cut. Sorry for getting distracted. ADHD be like. I've just been looking at that stick for a while, and I was watching the Watching the dryness, the lack of health start to extend into the rest of the plant. I'm happy I did something about it. It looks a little bit healthier for it. I'm going to do one more PC. 8. I'm getting my other shears. There we go. Little stickums. Our shared pool of meaning. What a pleasure it has been to discuss so thoroughly with you friends. I'm gonna be 18 in 27. The year 27, that's pretty cool. You get to be 18 in a world that has so much going on for it. Right, the stuff that you will have available to you is going to dwarf what the average 18-year-old had just 20 years ago. Goodness. And chances are you'll not age nearly as quick as the average person. We were smanking wad. And in order to charge someone for possession, you need to actually find it on their person. I assured that the weed is now gone and they can't come after us for anything. What's up? Big haircut? I did technically cut the sides of my hair, yeah. But my hair up top has been untouched. I should technically trim the ends of it a little bit to get it a little bit healthier again. How's your morning going? What's the topic? Morning's been going well. Today's topic has been about the shared pool of meaning that we create, especially in a space like the one that we have here and today, right? That the way to proper conversation, the way to proper decision making as well, is to create a shared pool of meaning. And that shared pool of meaning looks like all of us adding our perspectives to the space, and then a new perspective, or at least new decisions, arises in the minds of every single one of us in light of that. I'm very interesting. I cross-dress in women's clothes, and I have autism, and I have anxiety, and it makes me happy all the time. I love it, and it's the best of both worlds. Lady Mike, I hope that you continue to celebrate your own uniqueness, right? I'm happy that you found something that makes you feel happy, all right? Something that you love. Don't let anybody take that away from you. It's also been 15 years, so I'm certain it's fine to talk about. I know, Dan. I was just kind of like joking with you as well. My dreams are always like a lot of rooms, a lot of hallways, awkward social situations. Sometimes I'm on a boat. Sometimes I'm in the middle of the forest. Often, like I'm trying to solve something. Yeah, those solving something kind of dreams, right? One of my sometimes reoccurring dreams is me going from one state to another. I've had dreams where it tries to teach me something, and then it will try to teach me something by being like, oh, look, this person did this consequence, and then it will end the dream. And then it will be like, now look, this thing hits this thing, consequence. And then the dream will end. It's like, and now look, this water falls on this thing, consequence. Dream ends. Now look, this tree leans up to this thing, consequence. And it will just do. And sometimes I'll get really frustrated because I'm like, I'm not getting it. What am I supposed to get? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? Melt. But if you focus more on something, it doesn't feel like anything to me, though. Focus more on something doesn't feel like anything to you, though. I think it'll only be something to you if you focus on it, too. I'm going to see the Odyssey today, and IMAX. Looking forward to it. Have the best time, Nancy. You said you're going with a friend, right? I hope you have so much fun. Hell yeah, Nancy. Psyched to hear what you think. Stop apologizing and start living. Oh yeah. Once I had a dream of us meeting together at Meltfest. That was a fun one. That sounds cool, Joe. Nancy, Yi, I hope you have a great time. I had multiple dreams of meeting Melt before it happened. Yeah, manifested, Sam. Sam has met me in person. It's true. Me and Sam have shared a hug with one another. Was there Play-Doh? Joe, if we loaded Play-Doh into t-shirt guns, would it hurt if we hit folks with it? Probably. 29 or 6 to 4. I don't understand those numbers. I think we can have just as much fun arguing, personally. True, you can if you're setting out to do that. If the intent is to have fun, right? That if we both want to like share differing perspectives and there's no stakes involved. I think it stops being fun when there are stakes, right? That the relationship could end as if as a, you know, consequence kind of thing. I don't remember Play-Doh, but it doesn't mean it wasn't there. I can't imagine a melt fest that doesn't have an abundance of Play-Doh. Abundance of Play-Doh, are you gangsta? Malawi CID, I'm not very gangster, bro. I'm very well-mannered, actually. Surprisingly, I'm pretty well-mannered. I at one point probably thought I was very gangster, but no, I've never broken any like real rules. I've never extorted. I've never committed a crime. I've never assaulted a person. I've never stolen something since I became an adult. One of the first things that I ever stole was a price tag. In South Africa, when digital price tags were first introduced, right? I don't know why, but it felt so novel and interesting to me that I wanted one. So I took it. And then when I got back home, my dad saw me playing with it and he was like, "Where did you get that?" All right. And I'm like, "Oh, from the store." And then we had to drive back and he told me to go and put it back where I found it. And I didn't. I just went back in the store and put it like on the candy section. I was like, no consequence at least. Yeah, we'll leave bulk amounts of Play-Doh, butterflies, bubbles, and giant bouncy balls. Bubbles! Thank you. I appreciate it and I won't. Love is true, friend. For Meltfest, I'm gonna need a tent with a cot in it so I can go lie down. I expect there will be lots of dancing going on. That'll be fun. I think we would have to do that, right? We would have to have one tented area that's just like the chill space. That's one of the big things that I appreciated about all of the festivals that I've been to. That if they have a chill space, it makes the whole festival experience so much better, right? Sometimes people will spend more time in the chill space than they'll spend on the dance floor, but there has to be that contrast, right? Like you have to have a space where you can feel safe to chill, and then once you feel you have chilled enough, right, and the excitement arises in you, then you go dance again. I requested a cave, Nancy. I mean, there are lots and lots of caves here in Indiana. I actually stopped seeing 14 days ago because every time I sleep, to me, what America First really means. I know we're supposed to be sharing this reality, but when you talk to a lot of people, you're like, are you sure that you live in reality? Again, shared meaning, right? All of us share meaning. And all of us have a pretty, I think, groundbreaking take on what reality actually means to us, right? All of us want to be respected and appreciated. All of us want to feel loved. All of us want to be important, right? To at least the people that are important to us, right? And in that way, it's hard to not live in reality when you start talking to other people, because if you're curious about their experience, you'll start to learn that their experience is very similar to yours. All right. And in that way, it makes me feel like I'm more in reality than less in reality. I know what Combat says is true. I live in reality. What about stakes in relationship ending? Uh, we were talking about the arguing thing, right? Or having fun in arguing. True hoopy, flank steak, fillet. Be more specific. Nan and Sam, I think we should definitely have a designated quiet space. Absolutely. A chill space and also a quiet time in the mornings. Quiet time, do some yoga, and then only like around 9ish, 10ish a.m. the music will start. This is the way I think is good. Good idea about the quiet time, Dan. That's the way it's done at the festivals that I've been to as well. Quiet time, and then usually yoga classes are presented. Yoga every morning and silence until then. That's a hard one to... Like silence as in no music being played loudly, of course, but like asking people to be quiet, that usually doesn't go off well. Maybe they'll quiet during the yoga as it's happening. I look forward to these spaces that we'll create together. 3 a.m. to like noon needs to be quiet time where the only noise is things like Mel leading a yoga session for sure. Well, the cool thing is that all of us could have a chance, right? We can have like 3 different yoga sessions. We can have one restorative yoga session, one hatha yoga session, one meditation session, or like yoga nidra, or non-sleep deep rest, right? So we can have like 3 different things that if you don't necessarily want to do like a lot of yoga, you just want to lay down and be there for the experience, then you can do that as well, kind of thing. I like debating. I think that's fine. I don't know about like straight up arguing, if they mean the same thing I mean, I guess. Yeah, I also enjoy debating, Combat. I started reading a book. That's actually what inspired today's stream. And I think you might actually enjoy it as well. Let me show you what it looks like. This is it. It says Crucial Conversations. I paid $1 for it because I bought it from a neighbor's yard sale. And it has been very, I feel, already influential to the way that I want to talk going forward. All right, one of the key concepts is trying to create a space of shared meaning, right? And like that's what I would recommend for you going forward in your debates, right? Is to start the debate by creating a space of shared meaning, right? Where the other person, even if you don't agree with them, should be given the chance to tell you what things mean to them, right? What they believe in means to them, right? And then you can share what you believe in means to you, right? Because meaning is one thing that we can all kind of get along on, where our society has trained us to prioritize winning, right, over meaning. Because from a very young age, we're shown through our media, through our movies, through our TV shows, game shows, that the winners are the heroes, right? The people that win are the heroes. They're the ones that are the best. When you're a little kid in class, you get attention if you shout out the right answer. So you're in competition with all of the other kids around you to get it right. This book teaches you a bunch of skills. Tools for talking when stakes are high. Not filet mignons, when stakes are high. Crucial conversations. I'm that deep into it. I've been reading it for 3 days now. I'm on chapter 4. Learn to look. How to notice when safety is at risk. I have known 1,000 scamps, but I have never met one who considered himself so. Self-knowledge is not so common. Pretty savage. Self-knowledge is not so common. Man, I know that I do not like stickers that do not want to release. Good thing I have kalimba nails. My thumbnails are grown a little bit longer, so I can... Shama? Oh, here it is. So I can ting this thing. Yeah. So this is the summary of the chapter I read this morning. Start with your heart. People who are skilled at dialogue stay focused on their goals, particularly when the going gets tough. Work on me first, us second. Remember that the only person you can directly control is yourself. Focus on what you really want. When you find yourself moving towards silence or violence, stop and pay attention to your motives. Ask yourself, what does my behavior tell me about what my motives are? Then clarify what you really want. Ask yourself, what do I want for myself? What do I want for others? And what do I want for the relationship? Finally, ask, how would I behave if this were what I really wanted? Refuse the fool's choice. As you consider what you want, notice when you start talking yourself into a fool's choice. The fool's choice is believing you have to either choose violence or silence, right? You either have to attack the person and their character, or you have to just go quiet and, collapse into yourself. Watch to see if you're telling yourself that you must choose between peace and honesty, between winning and losing, and so on, right? Look for the and. Look for the third option. Break free of those fool's choices by searching for the and. There it is. Clarify what you don't want. Add it to what you do want. And ask your brain to start searching for healthy options to bring you to dialogue. Dialogue. That's what we want when we're arguing or debating with a person. We don't want to win. We want dialogue. Let me see where they cover what dialogue means. The power of dialogue. Here it is. Dialogue. When it comes to risky, controversial, and emotional conversations, skilled people find a way to get all the relevant information from themselves and others out into the open. That's it. At the core of every successful conversation lies the free flow of relevant information. People openly and honestly express their opinions, share their feelings, and articulate their theories. They willingly and capably share their views even when their ideas are controversial or unpopular. It's the one thing that, and precisely what, Kevin, one of the examples, and the other extremely effective communicators we studied were routinely able to achieve. Now, to put a label on this particular talent, it's called dialogue. A free flow of meaning. A free flow of meaning between two or more people. That's dialogue, right? It's not about arguing, not about winning. It's about, what does this mean to you? This is what it means to me. That's what it means to you. Okay, this is what it means to me. Now, although we know what people like Kevin are trying to achieve, we're still left with two questions. First, how does this free flow of meaning lead to success? And second, what can you do to encourage meaning to flow freely? Filling the pool of shared meaning. Each of us enters conversation with our own opinions, feelings, theories, and experiences about the topic at hand. The unique combination of thoughts and feelings makes us our own personal pool of meaning. This pool not only informs us, but also propels our every action. When two or more of us enter crucial conversation, by definition, we don't share the same pool. Our opinions differ. I believe one thing, you another. I have one history, you another. People who are skilled at dialogue do their best to make it safe for everyone to add their meaning, to this shared pool. Even ideas that at first glance appear controversial, wrong, or at odds with their own belief. Now, obviously, they don't agree with every idea. They simply do their best to ensure that all ideas find their way into the open. As the pool of shared meaning grows, it helps people in two ways. First, as individuals are exposed to more accurate and relevant information, they make better choices. In a very real sense, a pool of shared meaning is a measure of the group's IQ. The larger the shared pool, the smarter the decisions. And even though many people may be involved in the choice, when people openly and freely share their ideas, the increased time investment is more often than not offset by the quality of the decisions. On the other hand, we've all seen what happens when the shared pool is dangerously shallow, when people purposely withhold meaning from one another. Individually smart people can do collectively stupid things. Oh yeah, great book. I think you'd love it, bro. My mom and sister is important to me. My dad, I don't really talk to. He judges me. I'm sorry to hear that, Lady Mike. My dad also had a lot of judgment towards me for my decisions and my way of showing up in this world. But I understand that in the same way, his meaning, right, his perspective, his history is different to mine. And in trying to have these crucial conversations with them, letting them share their meaning, right? You as a man dressing in women's clothing isn't something that he has the tools to cope with in his own mind, right? But if you can ask him with curiosity, right, to bring out into the open what it means to him, right, and you can share what it means to you, that's where the crucial conversation is going to happen. Melt, I emphasize, but we don't agree. I know so well that it's not like what it's like to not know what fun is, and in that, in your way of intellectualizing me, or nobody's way when we talk without thinking. I do it all the time. Thinking, thinking, thinking. I think it happens. It happens, Hoops. I think we should have some grace with ourselves as well in those moments, right? Remember that we're talking to people that care about us. The difference between debating and arguing combat is whether you are open to change your perspective. If you debate a subject that you're decided on, then you're just arguing. Yeah. Then it's no longer a conversation, it's just posturing, right? And then unfortunately we have a bunch of tools. Like one of them is to discredit the other person and try to validate our own perspective, right? And like, I know everything, so I'm right about this specific thing, and you know nothing, which means you're wrong or whatever. But yeah, that's my fundamental proposition. My time is valuable, my thoughts are valuable, and the pushback I get from you is valuable, because I learn lots. This is the way, hoopty hoops. You've never seen me fall under the pressure, I hope at least. Debate also carries mutual respect. There's no reason to debate someone who doesn't respect you or vice versa. For example, I would never debate a fascist. Exactly. You get what you want by knowing what you don't want. Yeah. It's a counterintuitive, right? But like have negative goals, right? It's one thing to set positive goals, right? Be like, oh, I want a car 5 years from now. I want a new job 5 years from now. I want, have those goals of what you want. But it's maybe arguably more important to have a list of things that you don't want. I don't want to be beholden to what. I don't want to be so weak that I can't what and what. I don't want to be so undisciplined that no. And then having those negative goals can help you steer yourself into the right direction as well. I want to run a debate show where after the debate, you have to do MMA. Because when I watch debates, some of these guys have such attitudes and confidence that I want to see if they still have it in the cage. All right, that is combat. That is definitely combat. And I'm sure that it would probably be entertaining. However, there are real consequences to people getting in the ring and punching each other, right? Um, Brain damage is a real thing, unfortunately. So, like, I don't know if that would be the healthiest option for our species, right? If all of us, start having crucial conversations and then start fighting one another. Maybe they're confident in their ideas, but not in their fighting skills. The only sport I like is WWE wrestling. I've been watching it for years, since I was a kid. I also had like moments as a kid watching Randy Orton slither up and RKO people. Well, I should clarify, I am not into just that debate. I like to debate things that are true, not just anything. I mean, I'm debating flat earth people, for nice, this type of debate people. I hear you, all right? Like, more often than not, people that believe the earth is flat have a whole set of meaning, behind them as well. Like showing up with curiosity, not accepting what they say as truth, but letting them bring it out into the open. And then only once it's out into the open can you make a proper decision. Debaters going 3 rounds would be cinema. I wonder how many fells would be able to score. I missed something? Cool, shared. Thank you. Mel, what's the name of the book again? It's called Crucial Conversations. If you want to take a screenshot, I'll give you a second. There you go. Crucial Conversations. It's good stuff. I got it in a yard sale. I was like, felt like the book found me, to be honest. Debating flat earthers is just dumb. If you truly enjoy debate, then you want to debate someone who is on your level, not someone who has literally lost the plot. Yeah, and I kind of agree, right? For example, my mom doesn't believe in the moon landing, right? And it's something that I've argued with her about or debated her about, but she doesn't believe it, right? It doesn't mean anything to her in the same way that all of the kind of like smarter everyday videos that I've watched talking about the reflective panels, on the moon. Like there's a lot of dissonance, right? Realize that some people don't know, right? Some people have come to a conclusion based on things that they don't know about, and arguing with them about it from a place of knowing doesn't make you any more equipped to convince them otherwise, right? Because they need to find that information for themselves. Like Ben Shapiro claims to love debate, and yet he won't debate Hassan Piker. He won't debate Sam Cedar, but happily debates some emotionally unstable blue-haired college freshman, of course. All right, because he also, right, in that moment has lower stakes, all right, because the stakes are like if you embarrass yourself in front of a college student versus embarrassing yourself in front of an audience that has a vested interest in the person that they're watching, kind of thing, right? It's different stakes. He intentionally chooses people who are not on his level to try and feel superior. Randy Orton still wrestles, which is crazy. I didn't know that, actually. That is crazy. Got the screenshot, thanks. You're welcome, Nancy. Brain damage is temporary. A broken hand lasts forever. Yeah. And keep yourself safe, right? That's my take on the whole fighting. Like I have what's the word I'm looking for? Fantasized about being put in a position where I do have to fight, and I consider myself a strong person. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to hold my own. I can beat the living daylights out of someone. I'm grateful, so grateful that I've never had to, right? Like, I think being on the never having to side of the world, I think that's the other thing as well. I don't know if it's Gandhi. Is it Gandhi who said this? I don't know. That goes, a harmless person, no. A person who is peaceful but not dangerous isn't peaceful, they're harmless, right? I do consider myself dangerous, and as a result, I believe I'm peaceful, right? Where if I wasn't dangerous, then I'd just be harmless, right? Kind of thing. I'd be willing to defend myself if I needed to, but I would rather try and like try all of my other options, right? I'll exhaust my conversational options before I ever try to fight. Mm, I don't. No kind of makes it seem like their argument is valid if you're debating them. Don't be so quick to anger, my friend. Emotional regulation is critical for a healthy debate. Yeah, I think intelligence is one of those things that people get really like touched on as well, right? All of us want to feel like we're smart, right? And again, as you said, uh, like Combat Journey mentioned that he'll argue with people on the facts, like he'll argue with people that are flat earthers, and calling it dumb, saying it's dumb to argue with flat earthers is, of course, a very strong take, right? Because again, we're not calling, or at least that's not the way I interpret it. We're not calling the person making the argument dumb for having it. We're calling the argument dumb. It's like, what are you doing, right? Kind of thing. It's like if somebody believes, for example, if somebody believes that climate change isn't real, right? It's like you can argue with a person about that. You can like push that fractal. For example, my dad, my own father, does not believe in climate change, right? And I've endlessly debated him about it, right? And I've gotten to the point of calling him stupid for not paying attention to the information that we have available to us. And big surprise, he's not changed his stance, right? So in that way, I have to reevaluate and realize that the argument is the thing that is faulty. That sure, he might be wrong in his conclusions. I might like to believe myself to be right in mine. However, making an argument, right, creating a social dissonance between me and him because of that difference in opinion is the falling short. I am dedicated to getting better, to growing more wise, more capable, and I envision every single one of the people in this space being capable of doing the same. I have changed. I'm still the same person, but I have changed. Especially so, I have changed my approach. Because that really is the thing, all right? That's what this book is also showing me now. Like it feels like I've been learning all of these lessons naturally, but now I get to like see it like in black and white kind of thing. Fair enough, Mel. Debating a flat earther is unwise. It's not really in the spirit of debate. It's not even the unwiseness thing. It's just like, what are you trying to get at? What is your objective? Is your objective to get this person to believe the earth is in fact round? And if they do start believing the earth is in fact round, what is the consequence, right? If you get them to believe what you believe by coercion, by manipulation, by, browbeating them into submission, what is the consequence? Are they now going to suddenly start, loving thy neighbor? Are they going to start taking better care of their health? Are they going to start loving their wife and children more deeply? Unlikely, right? And in that way, we're arguing about the wrong thing. That's the way I see it, right? We're missing the plot, as you said. My number one rule of being happy is remembering that no matter how I try, I cannot convince anyone of anything, right? Like the first line of the summary that I read goes, start with heart. People who are skilled at dialogue stay focused on their goals, particularly when things get rough. Second point that they made in this chapter, work on me first, us second. Remember, The only person you can directly control is yourself. The only person you can directly control is yourself. There's no use in trying. You're going to have a hard time. Big struggles, as you said. It's a good rule to have. Shongalolobra. Control thyself. Flat earthers don't believe what they say in the strictest sense. It's like the flying spaghetti monster. It's a position of absurdity, so it can't be intellectually challenged. Yeah, and I think that's why it's so frustrating to people that do try and like argue that fact, because it's a matter of like, yeah, it's like this person's stupid, and I want them to not be stupid anymore, right? But showing up with that as the premise, it's like you're stupid, and I'm trying to help you, right? As you've shown us, I don't know if you're still here, Combat Journey, but as you've shown us, like people rarely take well to having their intelligence challenged, right? Because their intelligence as it is has allowed them the privilege of survival, right? Has allowed them the privilege of, getting to that point where they can argue that as a point, right? So the intelligence is fair enough, right? They have no reason to doubt themselves. And instead, that's why we need to trust in ourselves instead. You might not be able to change someone, but you can be sure to teach them, and they'll find their own way. Cultivating happiness is a skill we build. So right, Jovan. I don't think you can debate someone like your dad, Melt, on climate change. Climate change is not up for debate. We can debate what politics best address the climate crisis, but it's not up for debate. And you're just spinning your wheels talking about it. Exactly. Took me a long time to learn that lesson, dude. I'm still learning it in some ways. Michael Strack, hello to you. It's nice having you here as well. Or Mitchell. Sorry, not Michael. Mitchell. I've witnessed that the more emotionally charged the moment, the harder emotional regulation becomes. And there's proof. They cover that in this book as well, actually, Joe. The reason that happens is because when things, as you said, get emotionally charged, our fight or flight response kicks in. And then on a literal level, the blood that you need for thinking gets reprioritized to your legs, to your muscles, to fight a person or to run away from that person. So you literally downregulate your ability to emotionally regulate yourself because your brain is not all there anymore. Jovan, different times I've seen you drop wisdom bombs, and I really appreciate it. Others here as well too. I'll try to share the appreciation more. Nancy Fran, your presence here is showing your appreciation. Thank you for echoing to our friends directly. How are you doing? I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling well rested, and I feel very clear-minded. I think I'm locking in. Like I transcended a certain limitation I had in myself, and I feel like I'm gonna show up with more intention still going forward. Consciously evolving, as we say. Mitchell, how are you? How's things going? Man Bear Pig is real, and we've moved on to how do we stop him. I agree, Sam. I'm like, you believe your doctor when you go visit them. You believe that your car won't explode when you turn the key. So you do accept science. Wait a second. I thought science was a lie, Dan. Not even mentioning the hormonal dysregulation. Adrenaline is one hell of a drug. They talk about that too, Shangalovra. They talk about that too. That your adrenals, right? Suddenly, they excrete adrenaline, right? And now you're suddenly like, when you were not supposed to do that. Take a deep breath. Come on, I believe you don't get to be selectively, but not that science on the climate issue or the flat earth issue. True. Damn, I definitely recognize that in the height of emotion, my physical becomes more involved, more engaged, adding awareness to those moments so that when it happens again, I'll do better next time. I think there's a book about that, Siobhan. The Body Keeps a Score. Good one. I remember the title from working at at Half Price Books. Yeah, The Body Keeps a Score is a classic. Uh, Not everybody completely accepts that narrative either, but yeah, I have had experiences that indicate that it's true. All right, doing yin yoga. Oh my goodness. Try some yin yoga and then come back to me and tell me, yeah, Melt, actually, my body had nothing to say. My body was dead silent. I didn't have any thoughts. None of my trauma came back up to me while I was doing yin yoga, And I'll be like, yeah, did you forget? Did you something amnesia yourself into like leaving behind everything that you processed? Great points as well, Joe. I'm about to read The Body Keeps a Score. Oh my goodness. Did that just happen? Did that synchronicity? No way. Which is apparently like the trauma book and it focuses on physical reactions to feelings. No way, Sam. Yep, that synchronicity happened. We should do another yin session soon, you guys. I want that book. I've been recommended that by 3 teachers. Now make 4. We'll count Dan as well. Make 5. Okay, don't judge. This is off topic. For people in the Midwest, can you get corn on the cob from a cornfield and eat it raw? Yes, you can do that. Can we do that? I don't know. We do have corn on the cob available to us at JC, and like it won't take me more than 10 minutes of driving to find the whole cornfield. And technically, if it's ripe, yes, you could. And I guess if you made friends with one of the farmers, you could ask, all right, if you don't want to be a little scallywag. You can be like, hey, Mr. Farmer Man, can I pick myself a few heads of corn? And him understanding the kind of volume they deal with, he probably would be okay with it. My calves still hurt and I need a stretch. I need to eat some protein. Pinch poke. I'll send you my address. From my therapist literally just recommended me that book, Synchronicity. You should go and read it, bro. Dan, that's crazy. Make that 5. No, Nan, you buy it off the back of their truck on the weekends. They set up around grocery stores and Walmarts and shit. Yeah, they do that too. It came in the mail yesterday. It's already there. I love that we all sync up, as I've been saying. All right, it's trippy. It's trippy. This space and the shared meaning we create here literally affects us on a psychic level, right? I have seen it. I've seen it beyond a shadow of a doubt. We create some sort of psychic field in this space, and that psychic field influences us all. Disappear. I'm so upset. What are you upset about, Batty Priestess? What's going on? What's going on, friend? Tell us. Tell us what you're going through. Super cheap, sweet and delicious. You can also get honey that way to spring through fall. Yeah. I should find a honey farmer that's close to us because honey is ridiculously expensive in America. Like, disgustingly expensive. Yeah, Nan. Technically, yes. And it's very accessible. But I've only done it once and it wasn't good because it wasn't ripe. That's the thing. Yeah, you have to wait until things are good, right? And it also depends on what corn it is because corn, white corn and sweet corn, they look the same plant-wise, right? But the kernels will be different. You don't really want to try and eat white corn, right? It's not as good as yellow corn, for example. Yeah, for honey, I had a former work colleague. He would bring in honey for us. He was a beekeeper. It's supposed to be good to eat local honey to help with allergies. That's right. Those local bees will be sampling all of your local pollen-producing flowers and such. And then by eating the honey, you're exposing your body to that signal, and that helps it be more ready, right? When the pollen comes, it's like, oh, I know what this is. I don't have to lose my mind about it. Histamine bomb my face. The best way to get it is from roadside honey warlogs. Why, Batty, what happened? I know a tunny with a bee farm, so I got honey on tap tea, bro. My uncle has not a bee farm, but he has like I think 12 hives, and he would like give us 5 kilograms, like 12 pounds of honey at a time, right? And again, because he had too much, he just had too much honey, so he started giving it away. Honey in South Africa is way more accessible, way cheaper. We don't have those crazy African bees here to make honey out of anger. Long story short, I depended on the wrong person and they let me down, of course. Now I'm emotional and upset. That's okay, dear friend. I'm sorry that you're going through that, Baddie Priestess. That happens sometimes. This too shall pass. Thank you, inspiration. It sucks when you don't have at least one person you can depend on for important appointments. Yeah. So, crucial conversation that needs to be had apparently as well. That's one of the things I talk about in the book, literally. Hey, let me read that bit for you. See if I can find it quickly. Yeah, having a hard time finding the peace. But it was literally about like talking to someone about being able to rely on them, especially for something like appointments. There's too much there. Combat. Have respect for the space, my friend. Coming back after a ban is just not respectful at all. I've been banned, and I don't come back out in respect until there's been some time and space. It ruined my whole day. I can't stop crying. I let down my nephew. Baddie Priestess. I'm sorry that you're going through this, friend. I'm envisioning that there is still some good that will happen in your day. You were loved. I think we're all trying to create shared meaning in this space, right? I did not see Dan today as trying to call you stupid, Combat Journey, right? I think he was trying to call to your awareness that having arguments with people that believe the earth is flat isn't, and this is the way that I saw it, isn't good for you, right? That Dan's perspective was very much trying to take your side and being like, hey, dude, maybe you were not serving yourself by arguing with those individuals about something that they would rather continue to believe, right? And the way we react is the thing that ends up being the deciding factor, right? Long time ago, way before you ever found this space, we had another community member as well, Joy Vive, right? And she's still a part of our world, but she doesn't join the streams that much anymore. Her and Dan had a spat in stream, right? Dan was talking about relationship stuff. She was almost like attacking him, calling him like I can't even remember the context of the fight, but like the way I saw it was like she was calling him out in a way that made him feel like he's the problem, right? That that if you were good enough to have these partners, you would have, kind of thing, And then Dan clapped back aggressively, right? In the way that you did today as well, right? Made the attack personal, made the attack aggressive. And then that was the thing where the community had to draw a line, because calling people in the space full of shit, right, isn't helpful. It's not that we don't want you in the space. It's not that we don't value your perspective. It's not that we don't think you can't add shared meaning to this pool that we are creating together. It's just that when the attacks become personal, right, you're no longer using your skills. This book is already helping me, right? And that's one of the biggest skills, is that as soon as you make it a combative thing with the other person, you're the one that loses. You're the one that loses. You lose respect in the eyes of other people. You lose authority with your argument. You lose the goodwill, right, that you're trying to create. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing that makes it very hard. Luckily, I can just talk to Melt on other social media. Good luck. Yeah. I don't talk that much on other social medias, is the thing. Like, this is my special space, right? This is where we create shared meaning. And we've seen in this space already today how our shared pool of meaning is influencing all of us. And I think that's the thing that we look forward to as we keep coming back into this space. See you again someday. Once again, I debate science, deniers, and flat earth people are just that. And yes, it's kind of important to spread the information so people won't fall for the flat earth propaganda, which they do. I don't think any self-respecting person, any intelligent person, right? Any person that has the power to actually make a difference in the world, right, believes in flat earth propaganda. I hear your perspective, like you're trying to do a public good by, arguing with these people. But has it helped? How long have you been doing it for? And have you seen any measurable change in those individuals? Hey, Arpan friend. Thank you for keeping the torch lit, bro. Yes from me, dog. Dude, it's nice seeing you here again. Arpan friend. He was one of the friends who joined us, like, what, a couple of weeks ago for the first time. Was like, hey, I remember you from Arpan. You're still doing it. We're still doing it. Look, at the end of the day, I like Melt. I like your perspective. You're a cool dude. I'm trying to support your stream, but honestly, at this point, it's not worth my time if this is the way it's gonna go. I like you too. I also think that you're a cool dude. I value the fact that you're showing up for real conversations with real people, Combat Journey. And I think, and this is my own hippie woo-woo kind of way of seeing the world, I think you're here for a reason. I think that there is room for us to grow more wise, right? There is a potential in you being in the space and these experiences happening, right? The dissonance arising, the perspectives being different, right? That will make you a better debater. That will make you a more influential person. That will raise the amount of influence you have in the minds of others, not diminish it, right? And that's what this community advocates for. All of us want the best for each other. That is what we're showing up for. But when we start making personal attacks, right, we're proving that that's no longer our objective, right? Personal attacks make it hard for us to maintain the unity of the space. Tara, telling people to double tap on the screen. Thank you, Tara, for the upvotes that you enabled with your call to awareness. It's nice having you here again, friend. We got Rijul here too. I'm doing well, Rijul. How are you feeling, friend? What's going on with you? The different perspectives in this group are what makes us strong as a community. We appreciate one another, and we'd appreciate you. All we have to do is leave the hostility at the door. It's true. You are very mature than many people of your age, Mel. That's what I think I have noticed after attending many streams. Like, not many could have those deep talks and unbiased perspectives or point of views, yeah. Rajul, I appreciate you adding that perspective to me as well. Right, I spend a lot of time ruminating and worrying that I'm not as mindful as I could be, right? That I'm not as aware as I should be, that I'm not sharing the message that is needed, with my community. And it's moments like this where I'm reminded of the good that I do bring. Thank you for reminding me, Rajul. I appreciate your love. All right, it's time. Look at us. We have found ourselves here on the other side. Villuminate is here as well. I'm going to rap for you. MeltMore. Parents spanked me so much I got belt sores. Felt torn between keeping in touch with them or to smelt ores. Eyes whelped more than a man's life who was dealt poor. Villuminate. Sick line. Thank you for rapping for us. It's nice having you here, friend. How are you doing? It's been a while. It's nice seeing your name here again. Not been that long. It's been like 6 days, but it was longer before that, right? It's nice having you. We missed you too, bro. Are you astrologe? No, I'm not an astrologe. I'm an astrophage. You can put me in your spaceship and use me as fuel. What? If you know, you know. Go watch Project Hail Mary. Then that joke will make sense. Oh, my back has been very tight. The yoga today helped, but I'm not an astrologer, Tara. I know my star sign, but that's pretty much as far as it goes. I think there's probably some truth to the influence, right? But at the same time, I've noticed that a lot of the astrology stuff can be flattering and at the same time vague and all-encompassing, right? So in that way, people believe what they want to believe. I love being in your streams. I hope you're doing well. That hair is looking great, my brother. Thank you. It's nice of you to say Illuminate. The outfit too. What about the cards? The cards are called Sacred Geometry. I should probably ask someone to stop me. Sacred Geometry. Sacred Geometry cards for the visionary path. All of us are on a visionary path, right? We are literally creating the future anew every single day. Continuing forward with mindfulness. Now, Mel, it's not that you're not sharing the right message. It's that not everyone is ready or willing to listen. I struggle with that, Dan, because I feel like if I could say the right words, right? If only I knew the exact right combination of words to say, that maybe the world will just magically become a better place. But it is as you said. There has to be a willingness, a readiness to listen on the other side before that can ever happen. And I think the patience that we have demonstrated in this space and showing up consistently. This is the one I pulled. I don't know why I don't like this card. This card just feels a little bit, I don't know, feels impersonal. I think that's it. This card feels very impersonal to me. It's not a bad card though. It's not a bad card. Mountain Apus. Or Apus. Mountain Apus. There's a birdie. flying in a circular rainbow. There are mountain peaks busting out in the background in front of, I think it's Machu Picchu. I got schooled last time, right? This card honors sacred places, right? That's where the whole impersonal thing comes from. It's like more about places than it is about people. Sacred places and earth energies. This card honors sacred places around the planet, and here, the ancient city of Machu Picchu in Peru. It is recognized as a World Heritage Site and is revered as one of the most compelling and majestic sacred sites on the planet. The green, dome-shaped mountains that surround the peak of Machu Picchu was built. I need to start over again. The green, dome-shaped mountains that surround the peak on which Machu Picchu was built stirred my imagination and inspired this unconventional view of the city. The Andean people call these mountains apos, which means mountain spirits. Communication with these great beings and the importance of preserving sacred sites guides this message. There are places all around our planet that by cultural tradition, placement on the earth grid, or by your own intuition, will bring you into alignment with earth energies. As you are called to these places of power, remember to always go in a sacred manner, with respect for the people and the cultures of the region. Recognize that you are called to journey to these regions and feel the spirit of place that resides there. You are connecting wisdom traditions old and new in a manner that can enhance your personal worldview, as well as aid in the reconnection of energy grids. The reversed meaning goes, and that I did pull it reversed, the earth energies of your home base provide you with all the comfort you need at this time. Yeah, how about that? Which dialogue leads to a brawl? Dialogue is not supposed to lead to a brawl. As long as there remains dialogue, the brawl will not start. It's as soon as it becomes a debate, argumentative, that's when the brawl starts. What did you just call me? Did you just call me a Machu Picchu? Ram Dass tells us to remember that we should set a goal of reducing suffering while acknowledging that we can't end suffering. Manny Pacquiao? Mako Pachaco, please take out a card with my name on it. You know, Tara, I don't know if there is any card that has Tara on it. But I'll pull a card for you too. Tara, you need to tell me to stop. As soon as you hear these words, you can already type stop in chat. Do it now. A mocha picani fettuccino? A mocha puccino? I could have a mocha puccino right now. That sounds like very delicious. I would love one. Like unironically, now I am. My mouth is watering. I'm wanting. Stop. There it is. Another upside down one. The icosahedron. Look at that, Tara. This is one of the 5 three-dimensional platonic solids. The icosahedron. Card 57. The monkey's paw grants your request. Al Pacino's face stares up at you from the top of a frothy mocha latte. You stressing? Do you know icosahedrons? This is sacred geometry after all, right? Perspective and new beginnings. Feels very mindful. Feels like kind of what the space has been trying to share. This feels, to me at least, like a kind of new beginning. like a new spirit of what it is we're trying to do. The icosahedron, with its 20 triangular faces, is one of the 5 three-dimensional shapes called the Platonic solids. The icosahedron is associated with the female side of our nature. I think you're a female, right, Tara? Extrasynchronicity. And the element of water. It represents the beginnings of new consciousness. Choosing this card suggests that the subject of your inquiry has been on your mind for some time. You ruminate and you question, but you are caught in thought patterns that offer you no solution. It is time to seek a new perspective. Ask for inner guidance from the receptive female aspect of your being. Allow the flow to enter your thoughts in a way that release old patterns and activate an awareness of what you need to know to free stuck energy and get things moving again. You may be surprised at how easy you untangle the situation once you see it from a fresh vantage point. Use this perspective to help you see the new beginnings that are set to arrive and move with ease and grace into the manifestation of your dreams and vision. Upside down meaning goes, try as you may, you see no solution. Distance yourself from the situation long enough to regain your perspective. Distance yourself from the situation long enough to regain your perspective. What a trip. What a good piece of advice. I can tell you that it works. Distancing yourself from the situation will help you regain some perspective. Because sometimes we're so in it that we can't understand. I'm exposing my body to the melt signal. Honey will manifest. I'm imagining, whoa, I'm so sorry, Hoopy. I was trying to manifest honey into your life, and suddenly you were getting drowned in it though. I was wanting to imagine you putting honey in your coffee or something, and then suddenly it was just honey all over you, bro. Just like volumes, like gallons. Gallons that seem to be like thrown out of some sort of trough though. It's just like, I'm so sorry. You'll get honey, oh. If you only get a small fraction of the honey that I just sent, you're gonna get bunches. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. It was a pleasure getting to share in this space. I'll see you again real soon on the other side. My perspective is so imagined more. Yeah. Imagining more. Your entire house so it's filled with honey. Just like you're swimming in it. Chocolate. Your presence here has been appreciated. I think that you're one of the new friends that I found this space. Thank you for sharing in love of this space. Shangalolobra, your presence has been so appreciated too. Such a feral cast vibe. Dude, show up on my car. Naked, covered in bees. I'm having a fever dream, they say. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Okay, you're saying that I will keep distance from situation. If you're going through a situation that's causing you distress right now, Tara, the advice would be to remove yourself from it just long enough so that you can regain perspective. Thank you, friends, for sharing and regaining more perspective with me in this space. I don't know if you distance yourself from your life by being here, but your presence and your time is valued and appreciated. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye, everybody.